KYOK are entirely those of the hosts, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
When you walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! Let's go to the house! Let's go to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? It's hot now. It's hot now. Let's go. It's hot. We ready? Let's go to the house. Let's go to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how do we the Miami Heat of football? Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them.
Hey, what's up, 1,000? Carolyn, your nickname is 1,000.
He's a man. I'm proud when you step on the field, man. That's
everybody back 1,000.
When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. You bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready? Let's go to the house. Let's go to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
Oh, no. Game is just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. Got my contacts in, but allergies are killing me today. So, I really could have pulled this bad boy out because my eyes are watering like crazy. And, nowadays you can't have watering eyes, runny nose, and a sniffle or a cough. Folks will clear the room. Clear the room. Hey, Cheryl Lowry. I got to give a lot of love out to Carolyn Phillips Grogan. She is a softball player, and she batted 1,000 at a weekend tournament, softball tournament, whatever. She batted 1,000 through the weekend. I'm trying to find out if the Astros can sign her up. Yeah. Can the Astros sign her up? Put her in that number 3 spot. Who batted number 3 for the Stros? I know. Well, they might not have George Springer anymore. So she said it was the World Tournament. She batted 1,000 in the World Tournament. Where they do that at? Wherever Carolyn Phillips Grogan. Carolyn, you got to call me so I can, know the name of your team and all that kind of good stuff. I'm a little jelly that I haven't been invited to, call one of the games or, do live interviews, come down in the dugout. I'll wear my mask. I got my mask. I'll throw my mask on. I got a new one that I can actually talk with it on. Yeah, I can social distance, be down in the dugout, asking questions and doing live interviews. I'm a little jelly that I haven't been invited yet. So anyway, I got my black and gold sister Gina Fleming on. Pittsburgh Steelers 7-0. The only thing I hated about Pittsburgh winning on Sunday was that they beat Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, because I'm a fan of Lamar Jackson. So that's the only thing I didn't like about that. But anyway, I got to get ready to take a break. Let me come back with more. It's Media Monday right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3.
This is for O.G. Robinson. When people say my vote doesn't matter, when you don't vote, your vote counts against you. The other side gets a vote. If you want to fix our broken criminal justice system and reform your local police department to make it more accountable, you need to vote. If you want to increase economic prosperity in the black community, you need to vote. If you want to protect the right to vote, you need to vote. If you want more funding for our schools, you need to vote. Voting does matter. If Black Lives Matter to you, you need to vote. Early voting begins on October 13th and ends on October 30th. Election day is November 3rd. You need to vote. We all need to vote. If you don't vote, it will matter.
Paid for by the Communications Workers of America, District 6, Claude Cummings Jr., Vice President.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who've helped people that have been injured or wronged. Have you been diagnosed with cancer? Are you one of the millions who have taken Zantac or other generic versions of this popular drug to help treat stomach issues? Then pay close attention to this message. The FDA said it detected low levels of a probable cancer-causing chemical known as NDMA in Zantac and other generic forms of this popular drug. They've banned sales and even removed it from the market. If you've been diagnosed with cancer and you've taken Zantac or a generic equivalent, call the legal helpline now. You could receive a free cash award and have your medical expenses covered. And there's no upfront cost to you. They only get paid if you win. So please call now. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. That's 800-251-7816.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
Congresswoman Lizzie Fletcher is standing with us for affordable health care, for public education, for making sure every vote is counted. It's why Mayor Turner and President Obama support Lizzie Fletcher for Congress. Wesley Hunt stands with Donald Trump. Wesley Hunt wants to repeal Obamacare and deny insurance to people with pre-existing conditions. Vote Lizzie Fletcher for Congress.
I'm Lizzie Fletcher, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Elizabeth Panel Fletcher for Congress.
I'm Ben Tankard, and you are listening to The Lunch Break.
All right. Back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm going to try and get this whole one in, but I mean it when I tell you. Allergies are real bad today, like real bad. So I'm gonna do what I can. Let's say I can't see over here, but I can definitely see over here. That's why I was a little late getting on, trying to get it all straightened out. I know if I get this little saline mist, there's a bottle you can put saline in and give it a good squirt, everything will get cleared out, but I don't have any, so I got to work with it. Let's see, Carolyn Phillips Grogan says, it's the Seniors World Masters Tournament. They competed in Phoenix, Arizona. Southern girls softball team, 50 and over. 50 and over? What are you doing on the team? What are you like the team mascot? You ain't 50. I know you are, but you don't look it. So do they check IDs and stuff? Is it like Little League football where if you're too good, they want to see your birth certificate and your weigh-ins? I'll never forget, I used to be a team president and a head football coach for the A-Leaf Steelers, A-L-I-E-F, for the A-Leaf Steelers. Big shout out to them. And we had a couple of players, Courtney Coleman, Daryl White, Ashton. What was Ashton's last name? I can't remember. That kid could hit like crazy. And because they were so good, the other team's team mom would always want to pull their birth certificates and check their weigh-ins. So Carolyn Phillips Grogan, because you batted 1,000, did they want to see your ID? Make sure you were 50? I'm just saying. Congratulations again. I mean, seriously, that is a phenomenal feat. That means every time she got up, she got a hit. When you bat 1,000, every time you come to the plate, you get a hit. And if you realize that in baseball, it's almost impossible to bat 400. I can't remember the last time someone batted 400 for an entire season. She batted 1,000 for an entire tournament. So if you're wondering why I'm going on and on and on about it, it's one of those very rare feats on any level. So congratulations to her. We'll have to have her on the show one day. She's on her way back to the boot from Arizona. Be safe and get there safely. All right. Also, it's the eve of Election Day. It is Election Day Eve. If you have not voted early and you are a registered voter, you got to get out and vote. You've got to get out and vote. You just got to get out and vote. You just got to do it. You got to do it. And please, I mean it. I'm trying to be as loving and as compassionate as I possibly can. Brothers and sisters, please do not get caught up in the whole my vote doesn't count. Please. Now is not the time for that. Please. And I know my fellow African descendants of slaves. Listen, I know we want tangibles. I know we want reparations. I know all of that. You see, I'm saying we because I know where my folks came from. But again, now is not the time for that. Let's get this vote done. Let's get the right people in office and then meet with them. Do you know that your congressperson has to meet with you? Do you know that your state representatives have to make time to meet with you? Do you know that you can schedule a meeting with your elected officials? Well, listen, let's do that the right way and sit down and negotiate these things out. We put you in office. Now it's time for you to take care of everybody's needs and not just the needs of one group. But it starts with a vote. I mean, I'm not trying to be nitpicky, but chances are if you didn't vote for somebody, they probably ain't hearing you when you're yelling out in the street, we want reparations and we want this and we want that. We want tangibles. We want all this. Vote. Don't just yell. Don't just scream. Don't just protest, but vote. That's the best protest you can make. That's the biggest yell you can make. Vote. And get people in office that understand everybody's needs and not just the needs of a select few. I'm telling you, man, I don't know. Man. Anyway, it's important. Tomorrow, the polls are open from 7 to 7, and you want to make sure you get in a voting booth if you have not done it. If you have not done it, go vote. Go vote. And I mean it, man. And prepare for the outcome. Not only are you going to have to vote, but you might have to stand up for the outcome that was supposed to be to get done. I mean, listen, I'm just telling you, it's about to be on and popping. So let's get in voting first. Let's get out and vote. All right. Again, as I was saying, Pittsburgh Steelers are the best team in the football. They remained undefeated. What are they? 7-0? 7-0? I mean, come on. That's undefeated. Sheila Henry, the CEO boss. I like her. I mean it. She is the CEO. She is bossing. I love it. If you want somebody to help you get your business off to a whole nother level, she's the one you need to talk to. And she said, yes, sir, it is important. Go vote. I am in agreement with her. Kimberly Armstrong, what's up? Loretta Moss, what's up? Get out and vote. I was with Congressman Al Green on Saturday, and he was asking everybody that pulled up, did you vote? And every time somebody said they voted, we clapped. It is a pleasure. It is a privilege. It is an honor. Folks died for your right to vote. Get out and vote. Get out and vote. Kimberly Armstrong, man, that is outstanding to see you. Okay, so anyway, Pittsburgh, best team in football. I'm a Saints fan, and I mean, hey, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the best team in football. They beat a very good Baltimore team. Their defense is for real. You got to come to play when you play against Pittsburgh. If you only understand, you could see this coming last year. Pittsburgh was one final game, week 17, away from making the playoffs, and they were doing it with a racist and a duck at quarterback. Mason Rudolph, racist. I'm sorry if you don't agree with me. Too bad. It's my show. He's a racist. I believe that he called Myles Garrett out of his name on the pile. And if he didn't call it out of his name, he doesn't need to be playing football because he got mad because he was still trying to make plays and he thought Myles Garrett should take it easy on him. And that's not the way this league goes. So, yeah, I'm glad that they did they get rid of him? What did they do with him? But anyway, they almost made the playoffs with that guy and a dude nicknamed Duck as their quarterbacks. So when they got a semi-healthy, functional Big Ben back to go along with that defense, man, Mike Tomlin right now, coach of the year. Mike Tomlin right now, coach of the year. I'm calling it the way I see it. Mike Tomlin right now, coach of the year. Pittsburgh Steelers, best team in the NFL. Second, Kansas City. Remember how y'all had Green Bay up there all high and everything? Green Bay and the Texans both lost to the same team. Let that sink in for a second. Green Bay and the Texans both lost to the same team. And I got to get ready to take a break, but Cowboy fans, Kimberly, I sure hate that you came back today. But let me tell you something. The only reason why the Dallas Cowboys lost yesterday is because they had a dude named Ben DiNucci or DiVucci or DiHucci. They had a dude named Ben with a last name I can't even say at quarterback. I'm sorry. You cannot win games with Ben Berducci. The dude was horrible, but he was better than the starter for Philadelphia. I'll take a break. I'll come back. I'll tell you about it on the lunch break. 281-453-1000 if you want to get in.
This is Commissioner Rodney Ellis, and here is my friend and our next vice president.
Hey everybody, it's me, Kamala. When we vote, things change. When we vote, we address the need for all people to be treated with dignity and respect in our country.
Vote early, October 13th through the 30th, or on Election Day, November the 3rd. Please vote.
Paid for by First Tuesday PAC, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
All right, it's election time, which means political ads are everywhere. But there's a reason for that. This is important. We have a president who is a straight-up racist, who uses racist language and attacks to divide Americans against each other. We don't just need a new president, we need leaders who aren't afraid to stand up to Trump. But our senator, Republican John Cornyn, he votes with Donald Trump more than 95% of the time. So what do we do about it? We vote for Democrat MJ Hagar. MJ is a combat veteran and is a working mom who knows healthcare costs are out of control. She'll fight for affordable healthcare, cheaper prescription drug prices, and protect people with pre-existing conditions. And she's endorsed by President Obama. But most importantly, she's got the courage to stand up to Donald Trump. So vote. Vote Democrat, all the way down the ballot. And vote for Democrat MJ Hagar for U.S. Senate.
I'm MJ Hagar, candidate for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by MJ for Texas.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Two radio stations in one.
You're home. You're a diabetic. You need supplies, but you don't want to visit the pharmacy. What do? Call US Med for home delivery of your supplies. If you have diabetes and you're worried about going to a crowded pharmacy, pick up the phone in the safety and comfort of your home and let US Med deliver them to you with free shipping. And now if you test your blood sugar 4 more times a day and inject insulin 3 or more times a day, you may qualify to get a new continuous glucose monitor at little or no cost, which may eliminate the pain of pricking your fingers and helps you make smarter diabetes decisions. Plus, we'll send you a 90-day supply and bill your insurance company for you. Get some peace of mind. Call US Med today.
800-417-0851. 800-417-0851. That's 800-417-0851.
I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
I'm Ben Tankett, and you are listening to The Lunch Break.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It is Media Monday. It's the day before Election Day. Kimberly Armstrong, our long-lost sister, has come back to us. I don't know if she was in witness protection program. I don't know if she went abroad, but she's back. And she is a very big Cowboy fan. And Kimberly, we have missed you. We love you. We thank God for you. But baby, how in the world did the Cowboys think they could win with Ben Berducci? I don't know about you, but I thought we were going to be all right with that quarterback. He looks a lot like an actor. I don't know which one of them he reminds me of, but he looks like he could be an actor on one of them superhero shows. Like he's some kind of actor in that, what was that thing when the guy had the glove and he snapped his finger and half the whole world was wiped out? What was that, Endgame or something like that? I felt like he was one of them guys where he was on that acting show, but he looked like a quarterback during practice all week long. But then he got in the game yesterday, and I don't think he ever played quarterback a day in his life. I don't believe that boy ever been no quarterback. He didn't even know what the plays were. He was running around throwing the ball, and they were smacking it back in his face. It was just crazy to me. I ain't never seen no bad quarterbacking like that in all my days. Well, doggone it, I was a big old offensive lineman back in high school, and I could have played quarterback better than him. What was his name? The boy's name is Ben Berducci or something. He was bad. He's just bad quarterbacking. How did Dallas Cowboys get a bad quarterback like that? What happened to what was the other guy's name? The one that we had earlier this year. What is his name? Dak or Back or whatever. He was better than him. I want him back. And then I heard on the offseason, I've been working. I work real hard, and I heard they got this other good guy backing him up. What was his name? Randy, something. Redhead boy. Good. From Katy. Played in Katy. Went to TCU, them Horned Frogs. What happened to him? Why were we out there yesterday with a Berducci? What in the Berducci was going on? Why did we have a Berducci out there? I ain't never in my life seen such bad quarterback play than I saw yesterday with them Dallas Cowboys. That boy ain't never played no quarterback. Never. I mean, but the crazy thing was, DiNucci was better than Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz is the starter for the Philadelphia Eagles. He is their franchise quarterback. And he got outplayed by a guy who most folks don't think ever played quarterback. And that boy ain't never played no quarterback. I know quarterbacks, and he ain't no quarterback. Ben Berducci. Well, Ben DiNucci was 21 for 40 for 180 yards. He averaged 4.5 yards per pass. He didn't throw an interception, but he didn't throw a touchdown. That boy couldn't find a touchdown if a touchdown found him. That boy couldn't hit the broadside of a barn if he was standing right there next to it. That boy couldn't hit the broadside of a barn if the broadside of the barn fell on him. But he didn't throw an interception, so there's that. But over on the other side, the starter, the franchise quarterback, Carson Wentz, was, I got these contacts and I can't see, 15 for 27 for 123 yards. They're paying that dude more than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott would have more than that in the first quarter. The whole game, Carson Wentz threw for 123 yards. Watch this. Average 4.6 yards per pass. 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Baby, if y'all think Philadelphia is a good football team, I got news for you. They are not. And their quarterback is not. They have been waiting on this dude to arrive, and he doesn't even know where the stadium is. Ben DiNucci outplayed Carson Wentz. That's hilarious. Let me go to the phone line. Hello, you live on the lunch break. Who's this?
AJ, Todd.
Hey, Todd. Todd?
I've been telling people for a while.
Todd, what's a producer? What that boy ain't never played quarterback. I used to watch Little League over there, over on the other side of the freeway. You know, they got that stadium over there, and there's some boys over there can slang that thing around, and all of them look better than Ben Beducci.
Carson Wentz is terrible, man. I've been telling people that for years. You
Brother,
know what? You know what? College.
Brother, where do you go to school?
Wentz.
Yeah.
The North Dakota State.
They ought to give him. They ought to give them some money back. North Dakota State ought to have to pay a fine for false advertisement that Carson Wentz was an NFL quarterback.
The sad part is the Eagles traded up
to get him.
To get him. He's a typical example how teams will get mesmerized with a guy's height, arm strength, can't read a defense, has no feel in the pocket, hold on to the ball forever, just has no feel. When I watch him play, he just has no pocket presence. I mean, just kind of all the stuff you see in really good quarterbacks just have a good feel in the pocket. They know when to get out of the pocket.
Yep.
Throw the ball away.
Yep.
He didn't have any of that.
Yeah. Todd, can I help him real quick? Let me help him real quick.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll make it simple. I won't even go real. I won't go him and Lamar Jackson, or I won't go him and Russell Wilson. I'll go him and Kyler Murray. Can we do that?
Mm-hmm.
For Kyler Murray, it's natural. It's natural. Kyler Murray it flows. His throws flow. His runs flow. I mean, it just flows. It's natural. It's innate. With Carson, he's trying too hard to be a franchise quarterback. And the reality is, he's not. He may be a serviceable quarterback. One day, he might even be a good quarterback. But he's trying too hard, and he's like a runner that's laboring. It's like, dude, you're trying too hard to run fast when you just got to let it flow. And he doesn't let it flow.
Now, you know who is going to be, you know who he reminds me of? And I'm not a fan of Trevor Lawrence either, because to me, it's the same thing you fall in love with. A big arm, Trevor Lawrence can run, but there's things that concern me about Trevor Lawrence. The first thing is the turnovers. So if I had a choice of taking Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, I'm taking Justin Fields all day.
Brother, did you see that kid this weekend? Again, exact same conversation. With Justin Fields, it flows. With Trevor Lawrence, he makes good plays, and it's almost like he's bigger than all the other kids. But when he gets up to the next level, there are linemen that can run him down. There are people that he won't be able to bull over and, outmaneuver and stuff like that. And we're going to see if he's that franchise quarterback. But I'm telling you right now, everything that they tried to say about Jameis Winston, what they're trying to say about Cam Newton right now, you can just take that label off of them and slap it right on top of Carson Wentz, and you would not be wrong.
Now, with the Cowboys, it's going to be interesting, AJ. Let me propose something to you.
I'm listening.
Let's say the Cowboys don't win another game, which is possible, okay?
Yeah.
Let's say, I don't know how possible, because Andy Dalton's going to come back. They'll play better.
Yeah, man, Jerry Jones is going to get Andy Dalton cleared like day after tomorrow. Even though they don't play this weekend, day after tomorrow, Andy Dalton will be cleared to play.
And let's say somehow the Cowboys lucked up, and got one of the top 3 picks. If Justin Fields is sitting there,
they're taking him.
They are. Because then you'd have another 4 years of a quarterback on that rookie deal.
Yeah, that one, Todd, I will agree with you on. You and I weren't on the same page with the Andy Dalton cheaper quarterback. Might play well, get a little bit out of him. But Justin Fields is there when the Cowboys pick in the upcoming draft, and they can, like you said, get him for 4 or 5 years under a rookie deal, as opposed to paying Dak all that kind of Pat Mahomes and Deshaun Watson money. Yeah, I can see them doing that. I can see Steven Jackson talking his dad into doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I see that's a real possibility. But I mean, these NFL teams, they got to stop going after, and I think it's changed now because you got Kyler Murray, you got a lot of guys that kind of fit that spread offensive system.
Yeah, but wait, let's leave Kyler Murray where he is. In fact, I heard an announcer say it, and I thought, finally somebody gets it. Kyler Murray is probably cracking, not opening, but cracking the door for the 6 feet and under crowd to at least get a look without automatically, if we get you, we got to make you a defensive back or a wide receiver or, who was the guy that played for Pittsburgh? I think he was a quarterback in college. He knocked the snot out of you as a wide Hines Ward. You don't have to turn him into a Hines Ward. I think Kyler Murray has cracked the door for that. And it's only going to be on the more progressive general managers, not the old guard. The old guard is still going to be 6'4", big arm, can, throw the ball and operate from the pocket. But you're going to have some of these younger, newer, more innovative, analytic-based kind of GMs and VP of football operations that are going to give guys like that a look. Not just anybody now. They're going to have to be special like Kyler Murray. I think he's done that. But I'm going to tell you, there are people that will still take a shot on another Carson Wentz. Why? He fits the mold, and they are a copycat league, and they're going to take their chance and go through a bunch of Carson Wentz's and Josh Allen's and all those other kind of quarterbacks before they just give up on them and try and go in a different direction.
No, I agree with that. The shorter quarterback has definitely got a place in the NFL now. I mean, to me, it started with Russell Wilson. Once he was starting to do it, then I think it started to fade away, for maybe some of the, maybe a Baker Mayfield get a shot.
But again, now look at those that have fit that mold, though. So we're talking about Russell Wilson, and who came along after that? Nobody. They tried Johnny Manziel, didn't work out. Then they went Baker Mayfield. Jury's still out now, and I know Willie Gibson is on, and Willie's saying no. But the jury's still out on Baker. But other than Kyler Murray, who else is out there? Josh Hurts is still a question mark. Don't know what's going to happen with him. But who else is out there in that 6'1" and under?
Yeah, that's a good. I'm looking at teams now: Cardinals, Rams, Niners. What about Minshew in Jacksonville? He's on 6 foot, right? Close to that.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what that is. Yeah, you know what that is.
Let's see.
And in fact, as soon as Doug Marrone is gone, Gardner Minshew's gone too.
Let's see. Yeah, you're probably right. Not a lot of them out there.
Yeah, but now see, Willie's saying Drew Brees. Drew Brees, whole nother era. Drew Brees was out there before Russell Wilson was out there. So I'm talking about since Russ, there's only been a handful of those 6-foot-ish quarterbacks that have literally gotten a fair chance to play and have somewhat excelled in the sport. Right now, I'm sorry, I love Pat Mahomes, but Russell Wilson is the best quarterback in the NFL, and it is not close.
Yeah, I don't know if I say.
I know you don't want to say that it's not close, Spot, but go back and look at last night's game.
Yep.
Look at what Russell Wilson is working with, other than Metcalf, and look at what Pat Mahomes is working with. I'm telling you right now, give Russell Wilson Travis Kelce. That's all he needs to go with Metcalf, and it's a whole different deal. Give him Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It's a whole different deal.
Here's what I'm curious with Mahomes long term is once Kelsey's contract comes up, Hill's contract comes up, I want to see. I don't know enough about Mahomes' contract. I don't know if it kicked in yet, if he's still on that last part of that rookie deal. if they can keep all those pieces together.
And I think the New Deal has already kicked in. I might be wrong. And Willie Gibson, he's proficient in that. I think the New Deal has kicked in. But here's what I'll say: look at what Russell Wilson when all those pieces got away. That dude, he wasn't as dominant as he is now, but he was able to maintain until they somewhat retooled. And most will tell you they haven't even totally retooled.
So check this out. I'm looking at Patrick Mahomes' contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
They say 2020 says total cash $10.825 million, base salary $825,000.
Oh, God, so he is still on that rookie deal.
And then in 2021, it goes to $22 million. Okay,
which ain't a big thing. Yeah,
that's what I'm curious about, AJ. Is once we get to years 2021, 22, and then 2022, AJ,
yep,
it goes to $29 million.
Yeah.
And then 2023, he goes up to $40 million.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of circling. Here's what I'd say with the Chiefs.
Wait, Todd. Hold that thought. I love this conversation. We'll come right back to it. Let me get the, I got to do all these political campaigns stuff right now. Let me get that in. We'll come right back with Todd. If you want to get in, 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000. It's the lunch break. It's Freestyle Friday. No, it is not. It's Media Monday. I'm just ready for the election to be over. Y'all bear with me. Pray for me. If I see one more election, bless your heart. I'll be right back on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. Ben Verducci. They got a quarterback named Ben Verducci, and that boy ain't never played quarterback. We'll be right back.
Congresswoman Lizzie Fletcher is standing with us for affordable health care, for public education, for making sure every vote is counted. It's why Mayor Turner and President Obama support Lizzie Fletcher for Congress. Wesley Hunt stands with Donald Trump. Wesley Hunt wants to repeal Obamacare and deny insurance to people with pre-existing conditions. Vote Lizzie Fletcher for Congress.
I'm Lizzie Fletcher, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Elizabeth Panel Fletcher for Congress.
This is Barack Obama, and I want to talk with you about the choice you have for your next U.S. Senator. I hope you'll vote for MJ Hager. MJ served 3 tours in Afghanistan as a combat search and rescue pilot, receiving a Purple Heart and Distinguished Flying Cross with Valor. She's also a working mom who knows the struggles families face to afford health care, which is why she'll fight to protect the Affordable Care Act. Progress we all worked so hard to achieve, and Republicans keep trying to repeal. And MJ is firmly committed to making the reforms we need to address systemic racism and create a more fair and equitable America. And that's why, whether you vote early or on November 3rd, I hope you'll join me in supporting Democrat MJ Hager. We need her in the United States Senate, but she needs your vote to get there.
I'm MJ Hagar, and I approve this message.
Use of military record does not imply endorsement from Department of Defense. Paid for by MJ for Texas.
My name is Gary Bledsoe, president of the Texas NAACP. The upcoming election is one of the most important elections in the history of this nation. Elections have consequences, and after the death of the legendary Ruth Bader Ginsburg, things that have been done by the courts to grant rights to racial, ethnic, religious, and other minorities are seriously at risk. The chances for the survival of Obamacare and affirmative action seem to be remote at best. Do you want an administration and court system that takes the side of bad cops and that works feverishly to make sure your right to vote is compromised? This election is about whether you have a right at first-class citizenship and humanity. The voter suppression efforts now existing in Texas are a clear reminder of years past. They are reducing polling places, drop boxes for absentee ballots, permitting abusive poll watchers to abuse voters, and a host of other activities. Vote in honor of your ancestors, and please report any irregularities to the NAACP.
Paid for by the Communications Workers of America, District 6, Claude Cummings Jr., Vice President.
You're listening to
1140 AM and 92.3 FM, the legendary KYOK.
The lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
All right, y'all, we're back here with Ben DiNucci at quarterback for them Dallas Cowboys. Young man almost pulled it off yesterday. He never played quarterback in his life, but he jumped in there for Dak and Andy. Did a pretty good job. Now, well, he didn't do a good job, but they still almost pulled it out. And hopefully he won't lose this weekend. I can honestly say that Ben DiNucci will not lose this weekend. So there's that. All right, let me come back to Todd. Todd, let me get back in my right voice. So I see where you're going. You're going to look at what it looks like when the big money starts rolling in for Pat Mahomes and what guys they'll actually lose around him and whether or not they will be able to maintain their level of how good they are.
Yeah, because, I mean, when I'm looking at it, Mahomes makes 10.8 this year, 22 million in 2021, 29 million in 2022, and then in 2023 he makes 40. So the Chiefs, in my opinion, they really got to get something done again these next 3 years, which is a good window still, right?
Yeah.
Once you get to 2023 and he's making that Russell Wilson type money,
yeah,
that's when they're going to start moving some guys. I mean, and that's when you have to get kind of creative, if you will, and I think that's when, you know, Mahomes is carrying a lot of the, load. But in 2023, it'd be hard for me to believe that Mahomes still has the same weapons he would have now.
Yeah.
Because I don't know financially how you would, now 3 years from now, I don't know what Travis Kelce looks like. He's been in the league a while. But if you got that guy, like a Russell Wilson and a Patrick Mahomes, you can put sometimes some spare parts around them and it still looks good.
That's that. And you know what? I'm telling you, the exceptional quarterbacks. Now I'm talking about the Peyton Mannings, talking about the Tom Brady's, talking about the Aaron Rodgers. I'm trying to get, Drew Brees for the most part. That's what they've done, bro. Not all of them have had just, goo gob teams that are just like, man, like, you walking out there and it's, Moeller High School. And they're not always like that. And good quarterback play makes every facet of the game better. Good quarterbacks don't leave the defense on there too long. They don't put them in bad situations. They keep the ball moving. Special teams plays better. That's why those quarterbacks are transformational. But here's the kicker. When we get to that point, there's always the ability to restructure contracts. Not taking the money away, maybe front loading some more of it, moving it around. There's all kinds of ways to do that. And I believe that that's what we're going to start seeing starting at the end of this season. They're going to start talking about restructuring contracts because that salary cap, even though they negotiated for it to be flat from this year, they still got to find a way to cover it.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that. I think that's what we'll kind of see. Same with. I'll give you another example. Russell Wilson. He's got Metcalf, right?
Yeah.
On a rookie deal.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Once he comes up off that rookie deal, and you pay him. But when you have that guy, a la Tom Brady for years, right? A lot of times you can put just regular guys around them sometimes, and that's all they really need. Speaking of the Patriots, are you surprised how they're looking, or did you anticipate this?
I had to catch myself. For a minute, I was getting ready to say something, but then I said, man, the dude had 8, almost 9, if not 9 guys opt out, several of which were key role players or starters. And then Belichick decided to go young. Belichick's playing a lot of his young guys. And, even for New England, that's really hard to overcome. And I'll say this, and Cam don't ever have to say, yeah, you're right. Cam Newton is still recovering from COVID. He does not look like himself. Cam was balling before COVID. Cam goes through COVID, comes back, and he looks like a shell of himself.
He does, man. I think when you're away those 2 weeks, but man, they had that game yesterday, AJ. If he don't fumble.
I know. And that's what I'm saying. Cam will not allow himself to say, I'm hurt or I'm not 100. Cam looks at this like, it's my last chance. It's my last shot. I can't mess this up. and he's going to try and do it until he can't do it anymore. And you know the fans out there, oh, Cam's washed up, Cam's this, Cam's that. I bet Cam is better than Carson Wentz and Ben DiNucci. So don't give me the Cam can't ball. He's just not 100. And he's trying to overcome a roster that, you know, how New England has always tried to get it done. I think Bill Belichick right now, you know, he kind of knows what it is. He kind of knows what it is, which is why he's trying to see what he's got.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I saw Bart Scott made a comment the other day, and I thought this was pretty telling because I think Bill Belichick has been a better coach than a GM. So since 2013, Bill Belichick has not drafted a player that's made a Pro Bowl.
Wow.
That's telling, man. That's a long time.
Yeah, that's a long time. I didn't realize that. That's a good stat, Todd.
So people really need to take a step back, and I think that's part of what kind of climaxed of getting the Patriots in this hole, if you will, is, man, Bill Belichick, and I followed him for years, like drafting receivers, oh, he's terrible. I mean, they all miss. Every time he draft one. So he's not Ozzie Newsome when it comes to drafting.
Right.
I mean, for some reason, he's missed for years. But he's really good at getting those guys that get cut, get waived, pick them up, kind of fill them in. Those
Free
guys.
agency is his thing. Free agencies and off the street signings are his thing.
He's good at that.
Yep.
But so you know, it'll be interesting at just kind of how they move forward.
Right,
but,
Todd. Give me one quick break and Sybil Wilkes. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right. So let me take a quick break. We got a quick update, and then we'll have Sybil Wilkes with her update on COVID-19 right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
The big telecom companies have let Texans down. The COVID-19 crisis has shown how much we need reliable, high-speed internet connections. But for years, companies like AT&T, Frontier, and Verizon have been putting wealthy communities at the front of the line when they decide where to build next-generation networks. Joe Biden's plan for rebuilding our economy includes investing in high-speed internet, not just for wealthy suburbs and high-income neighborhoods, but in rural and lower-income areas too. Instead of giving giant tax cuts that go into the pockets of telecom executives, Joe will make those companies pay their fair share and provide the service your family needs to access health care, school, and employment opportunities. Let's close the digital divide and give all Texans equal access to affordable internet service. Vote on November 3rd. Vote for Joe Biden.
Paid for by CWA Working Voices.
With what you need to know today. With just one day until Election Day, pre-election voting has now surpassed 2/3 of all ballots cast during the 2016 presidential election. More than 92 million Americans have voted so far, as a majority of states are reporting record early voting turnout in the 2020 election. Numbers suggest a high level of enthusiasm for voting this year, despite the obstacles of a pandemic. A federal judge will hear an appeal today by Republicans who argued that Texas state law does not allow drive-through voting. They argued the almost 127,000 votes cast during the early voting period in this manner should be ruled illegal. The Biden-Harris campaign canceled a Friday event in Texas after a caravan of Trump supporters surrounded the bus on the interstate. A source familiar with the incident said the Trump supporters yelled profanities and obscenities at those on the bus. No injuries were reported. Please visit SybilWilkes.com to subscribe to my free daily newsletter. Be informed, be empowered.
My name is Devon McDonald from Jamaica. Play with Indianapolis Colts. And listen, you listen to the lunch break.
Man, I'm trying to tell you on everything I love. There is a couple of things that is grating my nerves. Stop trying to suppress people's vote. When somebody drives up and votes, they do the same checks, the same balances as if you walk in a voting precinct. The same people that do it inside do it outside. Stop trying to suppress people's vote. And I know President Barack Obama said when they go low, we go high, or was it Michelle Obama? Listen, you start messing with my life, I'm on one of them big old buses, and you riding around with those I love Trump flags. All right, All right. I'm gonna leave it right there. The spirit of Peter is alive and well in several of us. So I'm just telling. Don't let your love for the president get you in a situation that you can't get yourself out of. Keith, are you familiar? I mean, Keith, Todd, are you familiar with Toby? I can't say his last name.
Toby?
Toby said, "Try Jesus, but don't try me, because I throw hands." Brother, I'm trying to tell you, some folks about to let what they see on TV and what they hear out this president's mouth get them in some trouble.
He said, I throw hands.
Toby said, "Try Jesus, but don't try me, because I throw hands." And I felt every word, every syllable, and every vowel.
Oh, that's funny.
Bruh, okay. But anyway, it is going to be very interesting, Todd. In fact, this season as a whole is going to be very interesting. There are already several playoff teams from last year that are not going to make it this year. Already. The Texans will not be there. And as quiet as it's kept, the Cowboys weren't in the playoffs last year. But there are teams in the NFC that were. Minnesota, iffy, looking real iffy right now. God, there was somebody else, and I can't remember who it was. So what that means is we're going to have some teams in, plus an extra team in that, bro, might shock the world. I'm telling you now, if you count Pittsburgh out as a true Super Bowl contender, if you count Seattle out as a true Super Bowl contender, bruh, I'm just saying. I know it's early.
Man, the Steelers surprised me. I didn't see that coming. They're playing really well. I remember when they got rid of Antonio and Bell, a lot of heat was coming on Big Ben's way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I know he was hurt last year, but man, they got a nice group. I like that receiver Claypool they got.
Yep.
They got some good ones. They rebuilt. You know, they put it together. That's a nice team. They really surprised me. I didn't see a 7-0 start from them.
Yeah. So look, right now in the AFC, top 4 teams in the division: Steelers, Chiefs, Bills, Titans. Playoff eligible or playoff leaders: Ravens, Colts, Browns. Ravens, Colts, Browns. Were the Colts in last year? No, they weren't, because it was Tennessee and it was the Texans. On the outside looking in, the Raiders, Dolphins, Broncos, Bengals, Chargers, Patriots, Texans, Jaguars, and Jets. On the NFC side, top 4 teams: Seahawks, Packers, Saints, and Eagles. And watch this: Cardinals, Buccaneers, and Rams, which means the Bears, 49ers, and Vikings are on the outside looking in.
Yeah, you know, speaking of the Rams, Jared Goff is another one. How him and Carson Wentz, it just shows you how desperate teams are for quarterbacks, that they're willing to reach. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who's worse between Goff and Wentz? Man, it's close. I'd probably take Jared Goff over Wentz, but trust me.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm definitely taking Goff over Wentz. Goff has been to a Super Bowl where he actually led the team there.
Yeah, I mean,
Wentz went to a Super Bowl where, now I got to give him credit for the regular season, but playoffs, that was Foles.
And that's where, here's where I think the Eagles messed up big time. They should have got ahead of this curve. Here's what I would have done. I've seen enough of Carson Wentz. What you're going to see now is what you're going to see the rest of his career. In the off season, before the season started, I would have traded him while you can, before people get more bad film of him.
Yep.
And you can't get much.
Yep.
And I would have this year. I would have went with Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
Maybe brought in a veteran for the year.
Yep.
Tried that, and if it didn't work, maybe Justin Fields is out there next year.
Yep.
I would have moved on. The Eagles seem like they're just, you know, they're hell bent on, hey, we're gonna make this work. You know, we got rid of Nick Foles, which was a mistake. I would have kept him and traded Wentz at that time. And and just moved on.
Yep.
But
hey, I'm sorry, man. I'm about to get fired. I was told not to say that. Okay, I messed up. Let me say the top of the hour ID. We are KYOK, Conroe, Houston, AM 1140 and FM 92.3. The legendary KYOK. I'm AJ Jones. I gotta play the disclaimer. Todd just got me talking to him like we ain't got nothing else to do. Hold on, Todd.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the hosts, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
Okay, now I'm back. Okay, you know who really has been a positive in my mind and in my life has been Valencia King. Man, she has been talking to me and mentioning to me all when we talk about saying positive things and watching the negative things that I say and what have you. And I know, man, she's like my niece. And man, I'm telling you, I remember that. I think about that. I don't even do it joking around. So thank you, Valencia. I am Valencia King. So anyway, man, Carson Wentz, I don't know if he's at the point where they move on. I think they still got to see a little bit more out of Jalen Hurts before they make that decision, or see if they can't get one of those one-year rentals so that they can get Jalen Hurts up and ready to go if they believe he's that guy. But it is clear. Where are the Trey Wingos of the world now? Again, he wanted to write off Jameis's career. When are they going to write off this guy's career? Because he is not getting it done. He got outplayed by a third-string starter, a third-stringer in a game that is your signature game. That's like UT A&M. That's like Ohio State, Michigan. Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles is that marquee game, and he played like straight trash. He got the win. I'll give him that, but that's all he got. Trash.
I mean, AJ, he plays like he's a rookie. I mean, just the boneheaded mistakes he makes.
Does not make wise decisions, does not make big plays. I mean, again, he's out there gutting it out like he's Brian Hoyer or Ryan Fitzpatrick or somebody like that. You paying him like he is Russell Wilson, but he's out there playing like he's Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Well, hold on, man. But I can't do that to Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh, that's wild. Todd said, man, that's an insult to Ryan Fitzpatrick. Fix your mouth to apologize. I'm sorry, Ryan. My bad.
I mean, think about it. Ryan Fitzpatrick is playing way better than Carson Wentz.
Yeah. I'm okay. Let me leave Brian Hoyer out there then. You know, Brian Hoyer, when he was in Cleveland, he gutted he gutted it out to a 7-5 season. And then they turn it over to Johnny Manziel, and they don't even break 500. So I'm telling you, man, Wentz, look at what you see in that record. That's Carson Wentz. Who are the people that say you are what your record says you are? That's Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I just don't get it, man. And it just seems like they're so determined just to prove they were right. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. Internally, you don't draft Jalen Hurts that high just, to be a second-round pick just because. You know what I mean?
Right.
They have concerns. They didn't bring Jalen Hurts in there as a second-round pick just to be a backup. They have concerns with him, with Carson Wentz, that is. You don't take Jalen that high unless you have concerns with, your starter. Now the question is, when will Jalen get his opportunity? I don't know, as long as the Eagles are still in first place in the NFC East, which is not saying much. So like I said, I'm not sure, why they're stuck on that.
But here's my thing. Jeff Lurie is that guy. Remember, Jeff Lurie was the one that pulled the trigger on Andy Reid. Jeff Lurie was the one that pulled the trigger on the quarterback situation. So he ain't gonna stay pat long and let Pittsburgh get better and win another championship before he gets his Eagles together to win another championship. So I'm telling you, all joking aside, Peterson and Wentz, are probably on a shorter leash. I don't like that leash analogy, but have less time than people think that they do. And I know the Philly faithful, they are some of the most rabid, wonderful fans in the world. See what I did there? I love their passion. I love how crazy they are. But the reality is they love who they love. They hate who they hate. And I'm telling you, they love Carson Wentz. You know, he's like a Scranton guy. You know what I mean? He's like one of those Steel Town guys. But he's not good. You're not going to win with Carson Wentz, not on a consistent, regular basis.
I mean, let's be honest. They didn't win with Carson Wentz. They won with Nick Foles.
They didn't.
Right?
They didn't. You're right.
And at that time, they thought, it kind of reminded me of, when the Chargers drafted Phillip Rivers.
Yep.
You know, when they had Drew Brees.
Right. And when Washington took Kirk Cousins, when they took RG3.
So it was one of the quarterbacks that played better than I thought he would. Was Justin Hebert for the Chargers.
Herbert.
Yeah, is that how you say it? Herbert?
Yeah. I don't know where he grew up, but it's Hebert all day long anywhere else in the world, but it's Herbert.
Herbert. He's looked a lot better than I thought he would. I thought that was kind of a project. Maybe it's going to take a couple years to see even a maybe, but he's looked a lot better. There's been some times this year he's looked really good.
I agree, but I just don't think they're going to get Anthony Lynn time to develop him, man, and I think that's horrible. I think Phillip Rivers cost Anthony Lynn a major year of his career. I think if Phillip Rivers didn't play as trashy as he did last year, I'm trying to find the worst word I'm allowed to say on this radio station, as trashy as he played last year, Anthony Lynn wouldn't be on a warm seat, let alone a hot seat. But because he had such a bad year, he too is under a lot of pressure to get things done. I think he was going to be all right with Tyrod Taylor. I think Tyrod was going to surprise a lot of people. But Herbert has played exceptionally well. But I just don't think they're going to give Lynn time to get it done with him. I wish they would, and I don't think he's going to be unemployed long. I think he's going to be one of the brothers that will get another chance sooner than most do.
Let me ask you about your Vegas Raiders and Gruden. Has Gruden done better than you thought he would? Because I know you weren't a fan early on, but
watch this. Next question.
All right.
If I ever give that man credit, get me checked out. If I ever give that man credit, get me checked out.
All right, let's go to your Bengals. I think your Bengals are onto something with Joe Burrow.
Yeah, but they ain't on to anything with their head coach. Joe Burrow, in fact, Cincinnati is a place where if they bring in Lynn as a head coach, if he gets let go from the Chargers, that's the guy who could develop Joe Burrow and turn that Cincinnati Bengal team around, because they're closer than we think they are.
Yeah, man, I've been, because the Bengals are 2-5, but there was a game they lost recently that they could have won. Was that?
Let me tell you, the Bengals should be 4-3 right now. The Bengals should have beat Cleveland the first time. The Bengals should have beat Cleveland the second time, and then they should have their two other wins.
Yeah, they should have beat the Colts, right? There was a game against the Colts.
Don't make me think they should be 5-2, because I'll take it.
But think about that. Think how much of an impact Joe Burrow's had.
I know.
Right?
I know. And he doesn't have an offensive line.
Yeah, so I think the Bengals, if they can keep him upright and build around him, they got something special there.
And watch this. And they won that game yesterday without Joe Mixon. They won that game with a piece of A.J. Green. I'm telling you, man, they got something right in Cincinnati. They got the wrong guy at head coach. They got the wrong offensive line, and they need to go ahead and cut ties with A.J. Green. I love the dude, man. I hate how his career has gone, but they really need to cut ties and get something for A.J. Green. Like if they got to trade him away to one of the contenders for a pick that they don't deserve, get it. Get what you can for him. Great guy. I wish nothing but the best for him, but he just has not been able to stay healthy and be as productive. I mean, look at his line. I mean, look at his stat line. I mean, he's not even a decoy right now.
I agree with that.
And they got between now and tomorrow to do it.
Yeah, it's probably not. But tell me if I'm wrong. I heard something recently. He didn't want to be moved. Is that right?
Yeah, he doesn't want to be moved. I mean, think about it. He's under a real friendly contract.
Yeah. So now it'll. I'm trying to think who else I'm looking at these standings who kind of sticks out to me. And the AFC North, that's a tough division. I'm trying to pick out what's the toughest, best division right now. I'd probably say the AFC North. Wouldn't you?
No, bro. On the AFC side.
Yeah, the AFC North is tough.
AFC North on the AFC side, and definitely the NFC West.
Yeah, the West is tough, man. 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo.
I love it. I love every bit. I hate to divulge my hidden disdain, but the fact that the 49ers are having quarterback problems with Jimmy Garoppolo, and they have the nerve to think that Nick Mullins might be a plausible answer. C.J. Beathard is the best quarterback on that team, and that ain't saying much.
You know, it's interesting. They thought, looking for my Patriots, maybe them not keeping Jimmy G was okay.
Oh, yeah, no, they dodged the bullet. They dodged the bullet. But you know what? Hold on. Let me say this. I think that if Jimmy Garoppolo had transitioned from where he was to the heir apparent to Tom Brady, meaning they passed the torch actually, I think he would have been fine because he was in a system that he was comfortable with. And I think him and my favorite, one of my favorite offensive coordinators, I think they would have had some good chemistry. But when he went out there and he tried to learn the different system, and I got to tell you, Kyle Shanahan's system is system. It ain't players, it's system. So, I just love that they ain't getting along and it ain't working.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it did,
And I know he's partly injured, but I don't care.
Yeah, he didn't have the best of showing last year in that Super Bowl either.
Todd, you got one more break in you because I got to hit another one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'll be right back with Todd right after this. Hanging out with me on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
Congresswoman Lizzie Fletcher is standing with us for affordable health care, for public education, for making sure every vote is counted. It's why Mayor Turner and President Obama support Lizzie Fletcher for Congress. Wesley Hunt stands with Donald Trump. Wesley Hunt wants to repeal Obamacare and deny insurance to people with pre-existing conditions. Vote Lizzie Fletcher for Congress.
I'm Lizzie Fletcher, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Elizabeth Panel Fletcher for Congress.
This is Oral G. Robinson. When people say my vote doesn't matter, when you don't vote, your vote counts against you. The other side gets a vote. If you want to fix our broken criminal justice system and reform your local police department to make it more accountable, you need to vote. If you want to increase economic prosperity in the black community, you need to vote. If you want to protect the right to vote, you need to vote. If you want more funding for our schools, you need to vote. Voting does matter. If Black Lives Matter to you, you need to vote. Early voting begins on October 13th and ends on October 30th. Election day is November 3rd. You need to vote. We all need to vote. If you don't vote, it will matter.
Paid for by the Communications Workers of America, District 6, Claude Cummings Jr., Vice President.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who've helped people that have been injured or wronged. Have you been diagnosed with cancer? Are you one of the millions who have taken Zantac or other generic versions of this popular drug to help treat stomach issues? Then pay close attention to this message. The FDA said it detected low levels of a probable cancer-causing chemical known as NDMA in Zantac and other generic forms of this popular drug. They've banned sales and even removed it from the market. If you've been diagnosed with cancer and you've taken Zantac or a generic equivalent, call the legal helpline now. You could receive a free cash award and have your medical expenses covered. And there's no upfront cost to you. They only get paid if you win. So please call now. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. That's 800-251-7816.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-961-2730. 800-961-2730. That's 800-961-2730.
Beautiful people, this is Major. This is why I love you. On the lunch break.
All right, don't forget, tomorrow, last day to get out and vote. Excuse me. Polls open from 7 to 7. 7 to 7. You can vote down at the Toyota Center. You can vote at NRG. You can vote over at Rice. You can vote over at U of H. You can vote wherever you can vote, but vote. Vote. All right? All right. Now, let me pull that down. Let me get back to Todd. Todd!
Yes, sir.
Brother, some teams are closer than we think they are. But there's some teams that are way far off, man. Like, this has been an interesting year. Interesting year. And before you go, I got to let you get your UT Longhorns on. You know, y'all had a little win yesterday or Saturday.
You know what's crazy, AJ? That was the first time. Let me hit you with another stat. That's the first time we've beaten a top 10 ranked team on the road in the last 10 years.
All right, let me say this. That's a good stat. But there's certain teams, when they're ranked high, I don't give it much credence. And Oklahoma State is one of them. I'm gonna call off a couple of names from the Big 12 now, from the Big 12.
Okay.
Oklahoma State, Kansas State, TCU, Iowa State. Whenever they're up there, it's like somewhere down the line, they're going to revert back to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it will typically be in a game that they should win. They're not those perennial top 25 teams, or let me go even higher, top 15 teams that are going to do what they're supposed to do every game through. Even when TCU was really, really good, what happened?
Yeah, no, you're right. The thing with Oklahoma State that is holding them back, not the defense. The defense is really good. Is that quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that, Spencer Sanders is nice. I like Spencer Sanders.
Yeah, I got you.
He played up here in Denton, where I'm supposed to be like 15 minutes down the road. But he turns the ball over. If he just would have protected the football, Oklahoma State wins that game easily. But that's the biggest thing holding them back is, Texas turned them over 4 times. We didn't have any turnovers. That was the ball game right there.
That's what I'm saying, man. For some reason, those schools, they get players, but they don't get those players that are just going to dominate. They're just going to come out, and they're not going to let their team have a letdown. And I hate to say it, but they don't have those ballers like Alabama. They don't have those ballers like Clemson. They don't have those ballers like Ohio State, where if one guy's having a bad day, you still got like 5 other guys you got to look out for because they're going to take over and still hold you down, whether it be on the offensive side or the defensive side. And that's why when I see those guys ranked real high, I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know who it's going to happen to. It's just going to happen.
Yeah, so, good win for Texas. They needed it desperately.
But watch this. All they did was buy your boy more time And I said to Big Mike when he said something about do y'all still want to fire Tom Herman? I was like, no, dog, leave him alone. Let them keep him. Let them keep him. So I'm glad it bought him more time.
Here's my thing on if after the year if they end up firing him or not. It's going to come down to one thing: is if and Willie Gibson has told me on Twitter, Urban ain't coming back to coach. Is a wrap. Now, people on these Texas boards, that are quote unquote insiders, right?
Yep.
They claim the interest is real. Who really knows, right? But the people I trust in the Texas side of things that normally report pretty accurate, not Anwar, but the ones that normally report pretty accurate, they're claiming there's mutual interest. I don't know where the rubber meets the road, where truth it is, but let's say hypothetically Urban did want to come coach at Texas, right? Herman's done. Here's a wrap after this year. I mean, there's no way they're going to.
Let me tell you something. If Urban Meyer says I'll think about it, Tom Herman is done. Tom Herman is done. If you get a promissory note from Urban Meyer, Tom Herman is done. Baby, they'll kick him to the curb like a $3 watch your mouth. I'm just saying.
We'll be done. Now, if they can't get Urban, okay, then you fire him. Then I look at the landscape and say, okay, who's really else out there? Because I've thoroughly gone through the list of coaches. I don't see anybody else out there. I see a whole bunch of Tom Hermans that you'd be replacing him with, and I don't see them paying his buyout, the assistant coach's buyout, up to almost $30 million.
Right.
Or PJ Fleck from Minnesota that lost to Maryland too.
Yeah, but you got to look at Fleck with UT recruits versus Fleck with Minnesota recruits. Duke can coach. Stay right there, Todd. One more quickie. I'll be right back.
Our First Lady, Michelle Obama.
If you think things cannot possibly get worse, trust me, they can and they will if we don't make a change in this election. It is up to us.
Add your voice. Vote for every Democrat, start to finish. You can vote early from October 13th through the 30th or on Election Day, November 3rd.
We have to vote in numbers that cannot be ignored.
Paid for by the first Tuesday back, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
All right, it's election time, which means political ads are everywhere. But there's a reason for that. This is important. We have a president who is a straight up racist, who uses racist language and attacks to divide Americans against each other. We don't just need a new president, we need leaders who aren't afraid to stand up to Trump. But our senator, Republican John Cornyn, he votes with Donald Trump more than 95% of the time. So what do we do about it? We vote for Democrat MJ Hagar. MJ is a combat veteran and is a working mom who knows healthcare costs are out of control. She'll fight for affordable healthcare, cheaper prescription drug prices, and protect people with pre-existing conditions. And she's endorsed by President Obama. But most importantly, she's got the courage to stand up to Donald Trump. So vote. Vote Democrat. All the way down the back. And vote for Democrat MJ Hagar for U.S. Senate.
I'm MJ Hagar, candidate for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by MJ for Texas.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Two radio stations in one.
I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show right here on the legendary KYOK Radio 1140 AM and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
This is Brian Courtney Wilson, and you're listening to The Lunch Break.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Don't forget to get out and vote tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. A lot of places you can vote. If you're in Harris County, go to harrisvotes.com. If not, you trust me, you can find a place to vote in your local area or near your job or wherever you are. But you gotta vote. and vote all the way from the top of the ballot down to the bottom. Don't leave anything undone. Don't just vote for the president and don't do anything else. A lot of races that will impact you directly that you need to vote for, all right? All right. Todd?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on a big win this weekend. Congratulations. How you feel about your team, man? Is your boy going to be able to pull up a banner and say, I won the Big 12?
And no, they're not going to beat Oklahoma. Do I think Tom Herman can run the table? I think they can beat West Virginia. I think they can beat Iowa State. The one game that makes me nervous is the December game at Kansas State. We typically have not played well up there for whatever reason. But let's say we got past that game, right?
Yep.
And we got to the Big 12. That means, could be a rematch against Oklahoma State if they were to win out.
Which they'll beat you this second time.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, it'll be a neutral field. So could he win it? I don't see it. I don't see it, man.
Yeah. I you know what, again, as I was joking around at the beginning of the year, before they got started, if I'm him, I blow this thing up like Bill O'Brien does at AFC South Championship, man. If he wins the Big 12, God dog it, I put Big 12 banners on everything. What do y'all have? What do y'all have as a mascot? Y'all got a dog? Y'all got a horn? Y'all got that Longhorn thing? That thing will be named Big 12, baby. That thing will be nicknamed Big 12 for the rest of the season. I mean it. I would blow it up like it's the biggest deal in the world because, again, this is probably his only chance. He ain't gonna run the table next year if they play a full schedule. He ain't gonna run the table. I mean, everything I said about Oklahoma State and Kansas State and TCU, same thing goes for UT.
Yeah, it's just sad, man. I don't know how we got into this thing of mediocrity because, a lot of these top kids in Texas, they want to come to Texas. They just don't trust that they're going to get developed properly, and they don't feel they got a chance to win at a big level.
It's really just the truth, and I got to be honest. It's been that since Mac Brown, since the final couple of years of Mac Brown. Of course, that includes Charlie Strong, and then it definitely includes Tom Herman. And everybody thought Mac was, had found his mojo back there in North Carolina. What's happened to them lately?
I try to tell people that. I said, and I was obviously been a diehard fan when Mac Brown was there too. He's gonna lose games
that he shouldn't lose.
That he should not lose.
Yeah. Oh, hold on, Todd. I got to get this one in. How is Mike Leach's offense in the SEC going?
I got to give him time, AJ.
Oh my gosh! I might wrap up the show. I might just wrap up the show. Todd Malcolm. Todd, are you a deacon in your church? Because that's a deacon talk right there. We got to give pastor a chance now. Y'all don't go against the pastor. Are you a deacon? Tell the truth.
No, I'm not.
Were you an altar boy? What were you?
No.
Were you an acolyte? What were you?
No, none of that.
Todd, what was the lady that raised you? I know mother took you to church.
Yeah, Miss Johnson.
Miss Johnson took you to church. Now, you mean you didn't get involved in the choir or nothing?
No, man, I can't sing. They don't want
me. Oh, Lord. Todd, you went to church and didn't do nothing? You weren't a church member. You were a church attender.
For her, that was an accomplishment just getting me that far.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? I might make you come to my church. Tell Amber to pack y'all up and come on up here. Bring some masks and some sanitizer. Y'all come up here. I'm going to let you sing A or B selection. We got my brother Todd Malcolm joining us here today. Before I come up with the word, we're going to have an A and B selection. Come on, Todd. Put your hands together for him as he comes.
Y'all don't want me singing.
You better go to Amazing Grace. Go to something that's real. Go to something that the congregation is going to take over whether you can sing or not.
Yeah, so they can drown me out.
Yeah, that's what I'm... Todd, you're talking to a pastor that can't sing. Go to something that they can take over if you can't sing.
Exactly.
There you go. But yeah, man, I thought about you and all the other Mike Leach wonderful people. I was like, how's that offense doing again?
It's not looking good right now.
He ain't gonna look good later.
So I thought they would look better.
They don't.
I will say that.
They don't.
And they don't look good right now, but I think he'll turn it around. I think year 2 will be better. And
Todd, give me proof of that. Give me proof of that. He didn't get progressively better anywhere else that he's been. You know, he had that breakout time at Texas Tech, and then they started figuring him out. And then he went somewhere else, and they started figuring him out. And now he's somewhere else, and guess what they're doing? Starting to figure him out. I mean, there's a ton of film on Mike Leach's offense. And again, we're not in the AAC. We're not in the Sun Belt. We're in the SEC. Guess what they done early?
Yeah, you may be right. I mean, I still want to give it some more time. I don't know exactly what he took over there.
And you're right. Let him get his recruits in and his style of players and all that. Again, like Urban Meyer told your boy Tom Herman, what's the name on the front of the jersey? Okay, they're all yours. Yeah. But I get it. Let him get his style of players in there. But I'm telling you now, if by year 3, it ain't doing what it was doing early at Texas Tech, it's a wrap, bro. It's just a fad, man. It's just a fad.
I mean, for me, year 3 is always the tipping point. In year 3, what you're going to see moving forward is probably going to be the same. So in year 3, let's say he goes 5-7, right?
Yep.
Probably year 4 and 5 is not going to be much better. So I don't know enough about their program to say what he really inherited talent-wise. I don't know if there's a talent deficiency. I don't know. But come year 2 and 3, if it's looking what it's looking like now, yeah, he's going to have a problem on his hands.
Yeah. Let me. The only guy right now that I might, and I mean it's a strong maybe, not a strong might, but a strong maybe, that I might owe an apology to, just might be Jimbo Fisher. That's the only one right now that I'm looking like I might have been wrong on. And it's probably more because of Kellen Mond than it is because of Jimbo Fisher.
Well, I don't think you owe him an apology. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Look at the teams he's been playing. Arkansas, not very good. Ole Miss, not very good. Mississippi State, not very good, right? We just talked about Leach. Circle the Auburn game.
I was just going to the schedule because I was going to tell you, Todd, they don't have many more games left.
When A&M goes to Auburn, my prediction is Auburn gets them. They'll beat South Carolina. South Carolina is not very good with Muschamp.
That's a guy who keeps getting jobs that shouldn't. I'm sorry.
How he got that job after he ran Florida into the ground is beyond me.
Let me tell you something. Here's what goes on at South Carolina. The previous coach lobbies for the coach after them. Just like what's my guy who was at Notre Dame that I can't stand no more? Lobbied for Spurrier to get there. And then Spurrier lobbied for the guy after him.
Yeah, you're right.
And I don't like that, by the way. I don't like that, but Muschamp is a joke. So watch this. He's got South Carolina. He's got Tennessee. He's got Ole Miss. And he's got Auburn. Bruh. I mean, seriously, no joke. They got a chance to run the table.
So if you look, I see Auburn as really the only one. But when you look at their schedule, the 2 toughest games they had was Florida and Alabama, right? Well, he got stomped again like he normally does.
Yeah.
So that's the thing with me. If I'm an A&M fan and I gave a coach 10 years, $75 million, I'm bringing you here to beat Alabama every once in a while, okay? So if he's in year 3, you 0-3 against Alabama, or at the end of his 10 years there, let's say he plays Alabama, I don't know if they play Alabama every single year in the division they're in, but let's say they did. And let's say 10 years from now, or when his contract's up in 7 years from now, he's 0-10 against Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Why did we bring you?
I get it, bro. I get it. I get it. You remember, I'm an Ohio State boy.
Yeah.
And I don't care about nothing but Michigan.
Exactly.
I don't care nothing about but Michigan. You beat Michigan. I don't care if you. I do care if you lose them all, but you got to beat Michigan. If you go 11, how many games they play? 12. Depends on. You go 11-0 and you lose to Michigan, you might as well have gone 0-12.
Yep.
So I trust me when I say I'm in agreement with you because I want them to keep Jimbo Fisher as long as they can. Tom Herman, Mike Leach, Jimbo Fisher, keep them as long as you can because that's, again, those are those wins where everybody think, oh, they rolling now, and here comes somebody to pop up and trip them up. But this year is different because you don't have those non-conference games and the schedule set up as nice as it did for them. They're going to only lose those games that they lost. That's it.
You never know. Maybe Tennessee sneaks up on them. You know what I mean? I'm not a huge Jimbo Fisher fan. I'm thinking he's
Tennessee ain't gonna sneak on, and they're in Tennessee. They ain't gonna sneak up on them. Tennessee is worse than Oklahoma State and Iowa State and TCU and K-State. Tennessee is like tomorrow. It's always coming and it never arrives.
Yeah, yeah, they've been bad for a long time. So I don't know. I don't think you get to that point with the apology for Jimbo because I just don't think. LSU is on a down year. You know what I mean?
You think?
He's not going to catch that every year. You know what I'm saying?
But let me tell you something, man. I feel so bad for Ed Orgeron, but when he said racism gotta go, I said, and sure enough, he's been struggling ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Madonna's son. Didn't Madonna's son dance down racism? It was gone when he got done dancing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've been beating poor Ed Orgeron like a drum ever since. And I feel bad for him because to go from Joe Burrow to what they got at quarterback, dude, it's bad.
Yeah, no, you're right. But he's got a ton of talent there. I mean, he basically built it up, right? You got the championship, and now it's you trying to rebuild it back. Right?
And that's the thing, man. I give him more time than any of those other people we talked about because if you look at it, his starters and his backups are in the NFL. I mean, there's guys that didn't even start that are in the NFL from his team. So if he can go out and rebuild that every couple of years, I'm good with Ed Orgeron. But he's got to get those 5-star quarterbacks. He's got to get those Clyde Edwards-Helaires. He's got to keep those wide receivers, and he's got to keep those defensive players, man. He had linebackers that are starters right now in the NFL.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the talent's still there for him. It's just young, it's just young. So if he can get another quarterback in there, I think he can build it up.
But I tell you what, man, I am so mad that BC did not close the deal against Clemson, man. I am so mad that BC did not close the deal against Clemson because I'm telling you right now what I'm not going to do. I'm not watching Alabama and Clemson in the national championship game. I'm not. I promise you. If there's tennis, if there's golf, what's the curling with the brooms and the ice?
Yeah.
Dude, I will watch a rerun of 8 Mile before I watch a rerun of Alabama and Clemson.
Yeah, no, I remember tweeting, I think it was during halftime, I said, man, Clemson will rally. They'll come back. Because I just didn't trust Boston College to have enough to pull it off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't trust it. Like, I knew they were up. I was like, man, Clemson going to win this. Like I said, tweeted at halftime. And sure thing, they didn't have enough left. They could have won that game. But it's weird about Clemson. They do that every year. There's 1 or 2 games.
Yep.
They play terrible.
Yep, because they almost lost to A&M the one year. They almost lost to North Carolina, I think, last year. And here we go with this one this year. And that, like, again, with them, they have a game like that, but they don't trip up anywhere else. But with all those other teams I talked about, I don't care how undefeated they are, they're going to trip up.
I mean, And there was didn't one year they lose to Syracuse up in Syracuse?
I think they did. I think that's the other guy, Dino Babers.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about him. You know, and again, he's a good coach. He's just in the wrong place, man. He's a real good coach. And because he won't win in Syracuse, he won't ever get a shot at a UT or an A&M or, you know, one of these Power 5 schools. Well,
Yeah.
Syracuse is in a Power 5, but it ain't the same.
No, it's not the same. I don't know if he had a chance to get out sooner when he had a good season. I don't know if it was last year or the year before.
Yeah, I think it was the year before.
I mean, that would have been a chance to jump. I don't know if they was getting any looks because he hadn't been a head coach real long, you know, at that level. So, man, we'll see. But I'm with you, man. I do not want to see another Alabama Clemson.
I'm not gonna. I promise you, Todd. I on everything I'll watch a rerun of the debate before I watch Alabama and Clemson. What number are we on? I mean, it's about as bad as the Rocky movies or the Scream movies or whatever. Come on, man. It's enough is enough. And if all joking aside, if I'm every other conference, Power 5, I'm mad. It's like, this is not the Alabama Clemson Invitational. And I don't want to hear about, well, win, beat us, blah, 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 blah. It's not all about, this is worse than the BCS.
No, I think you're right. I mean, right now, if I look at somebody ask me, well, I think I'm going to win it all, I think it's going to be Alabama. I think they will again. I don't see Clemson. I know Trevor Lawrence didn't play, but
I think I owe the quarterback for Alabama some apologies too, because I think that kid is actually pretty good.
Yeah, no, he can play.
And I'm never, I promise you, on everything I love, Todd Malcolm. What's your middle name? No, Todd Aloysius Malcolm. On everything I love, I will never. Kimberly Armstrong says I don't like nobody. I will never give the offensive coordinator of Alabama any credit. Never. Absolutely not. Because the dude shouldn't even have the chance that he has.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be there. If he wasn't best friends with Nick Saban, he wouldn't be there. And it's not fair to anybody else that works their behinds off, that just grinds. That dude ain't no grinder. It's nepotism. It's the good old boy network, whatever number we're on, 58.0.
Yeah, I mean, when he left, went to Atlanta, failed there, and he came back, right?
Yep. No respect for him, bro. None.
Yeah, I mean, I think how many guys would get that opportunity?
None.
Leave Alabama, you fail as the OC in NFL, and you come right back to the best OC job in the country.
While you're going through your addiction recovery. I mean, come on. Anybody else, go get your life together. Come on back. We'll see if we got something for you. This guy, hey, why don't we let you be the offensive coordinator for the national championship game? Hey, why don't we make you the offensive coordinator for the Falcons? Hey, why don't we bring you back to Alabama? Come on, man.
Yeah, no, you got a point, man. I mean, that is pretty amazing how you can have that many jobs, and then for how he got bounced at USC.
Come on, man.
With all that baggage.
Yep.
It's still get all them opportunities.
Bruh, and he ain't that good of an OC. So anyway, Todd, let me go ahead and wrap it up, bro.
Okay.
Have a good one. Tell Amber we say hello. Tell the kids we say hello.
Okay, appreciate it, AJ.
All right, brother. Good stuff. Glad to have Todd hanging out with me today on the lunch break. He really helped me out because my allergies are kicking. Let me take a break. I think I'm going to wrap it up after this next break on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
This is Barack Obama, and I want to talk with you about the choice you have for your next U.S. Senator. I hope you'll vote for MJ Hager. MJ served 3 tours in Afghanistan as a combat search and rescue pilot, receiving a Purple Heart and Distinguished Flying Cross with Valor. She's also a working mom who knows the struggles families face to afford health care, which is why she'll fight to protect the Affordable Care Act. Progress we all worked so hard to achieve, and Republicans keep trying to repeal. And MJ is firmly committed to making the reforms we need to address systemic racism and create a more fair and equitable America. And that's why, whether you vote early or on November 3rd, I hope you'll join me in supporting Democrat MJ Hager. We need her in the United States Senate, but she needs your vote. to get there.
I'm MJ Hagar, and I approve this message.
Use of military record does not imply endorsement from Department of Defense. Paid for by MJ for Texas.
My name is Gary Bledsoe, president of the Texas NAACP. The upcoming election is one of the most important elections in the history of this nation. Elections have consequences, and after the death of the legendary Ruth Bader Ginsburg, things that have been done by the courts to grant rights to racial, ethnic, religious, and other minorities are seriously at risk. The chances for the survival of Obamacare and affirmative action seem to be remote at best. Do you want an administration and court system that takes the side of bad cops and that works feverishly to make sure your right to vote is compromised? This election is about whether you have a right at first-class citizenship and humanity. The voter suppression efforts now existing in Texas are a clear reminder of years past. They are reducing polling places, drop boxes for absentee ballots, permitting abusive poll watchers to abuse voters, and a host of other activities. Vote in honor of your ancestors, and please report any irregularities to the NAACP.
Paid for by the Communications Workers of America, District 6, Claude Cummings Jr., Vice President.
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
Hey, what's up? This your boy James Fortune, and you are listening to The Lunch Break. Keep it locked.
All right, y'all. Listen, man, I got to get out of here. My allergies and sinus just not working with me today. And I know folks are like, does he got that Rona? No, ragweed and tree pollen. That's my kryptonite. And I've been trying to take my, Allegra D, Flonase, all of that. Doubling up on it. Ain't not working. This is that time of the year for me. I've been doing this before we knew Rona. So y'all keep me lifted. I'll be praying for everyone else that struggles with allergies and sinus and all that kind of stuff, because it's no fun. And I didn't get it until I got to Houston. I used to mess around with my older sister. She had hay fever. I didn't know what that was, but all I knew is she was always rubbing her nose and stuff. I look at you rubbing your nose. I got down to here. I called her. I said, I'm so sorry. On everything I love, I will pay for your children to go to school. I'm so sorry. Because this stuff is no joke. So y'all be careful out there, all right? I'm going to get Sybil Wilkes on, give her her COVID-19 update. Let me get her queued up. And then I'm going to get out of your way. Of course, again, it was a good weekend for some teams, not so good weekend for others. So let me give you a quick sports update, and then I'll let Sybil Wilkes take us on home with her COVID-19 update. Cowboys lost to the Eagles 23-19. They're still only a game and a half behind them in the standings. They've got the weekend off due to the bye, and they need to get Andy Dalton healthy because Ben DiNucci is not going to get it wrong. Right. Which one is it? I've been joking so long. Anyway, New Orleans beat Chicago 26-23 in overtime. They're going to visit Tampa Bay next Sunday night at 7:20. That'll be a battle for first place in the NFC South. Of course, Tampa Bay plays tonight at the Giants, and man, Tampa Bay definitely doesn't need to trip up on that one. Monday Night Football, 7:15 on the mothership. Texans, of course, had the weekend off. They'll visit Jacksonville next Sunday at noon. College football from around the state. Central Florida beat the Cougars, U of H, 44-21. UT beat Oklahoma State 41-34 in overtime. A&M beat Arkansas 42-31. That game wasn't even that close. That score is a lot closer than what it was. Florida Atlantic beat UT San Antonio 24-3. And Stephen F. Austin beat Western State 64-7. Got to give the Lumberjacks some love. Couple of the top teams in the state high school did it again. Man, the Marshall Buffaloes are for real. Marshall Buffaloes, who went to state last year in 6A, they're for real. They beat Sharpstown 62-0. Judson beat East Central 48-13. Cibolo Steel beat Clemens 21-14. Again, a couple of top teams in the state. Yep, they're still doing well. Still doing well. All right, that's what I got for you right now. Again, let me get Sybil Wilkes on here. She'll give you your COVID-19 update and all of that. And tomorrow, be back with some Team Texas Tuesday. We'll let you know who won this week's edition of the Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge. Ferdinand riding high. He's got 3 wins this year. We'll see if he can make it back-to-back wins. And you guys just take it easy. Be safe out there. And don't forget to vote. Tomorrow is the last day to vote. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. is your only chance. You got to do it tomorrow if you have not already done it and you are registered. Don't be trying to mail in or do all that. Get to a poll, or if you've got your mail-in ballot, take it to the drop box or to one of the polling locations, okay? Please do not try to get it mailed in because it's got to be received by tomorrow. And the way certain groups are going, they'll file a lawsuit and your vote won't count. So please make sure your vote gets counted tomorrow if you're a registered voter. And let's pray. Pray for this nation, because no matter who wins or who loses tomorrow, somebody and a group of millions of people are going to be upset. Man, we're already divided enough. So please, please, whatever you do, vote and pray and vote. All right? As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Wear your mask, wash your hands, sanitize everything around you. Be sensitive to everybody around you. And whatever you do, when you see that racism, kill it. Not the person, but the racism. We got to stop this foolishness, man. The stuff that Donald Trump Jr. did. Listen, he ain't the president, and he's not a child. He's a grown man, and he needs to grow up, and he needs to stop with this divisive, dangerous attacks. Just stop that. I'm telling you. Anyway, let's go. I'll talk to y'all later. Be blessed.
The big telecom companies have let Texans down. The COVID-19 crisis has shown how much we need reliable, high-speed internet connections. But for years, companies like AT&T, Frontier, and Verizon have been putting wealthy communities at the front of the line when they decide where to build next-generation networks. Joe Biden's plan for rebuilding our economy includes investing in high-speed internet, not just for wealthy suburbs and high-income neighborhoods, but in rural and lower-income areas too. Instead of giving giant tax cuts that go into the pockets of telecom executives, Joe will make those companies pay their fair share and provide the service your family needs to access health care, school, and employment opportunities. Let's close the digital divide and give all Texans equal access to affordable internet service. Vote on November 3rd. Vote for Joe Biden.
Paid for by CWA Working Voices.
Sibyl Wilkes with what you need to know today. With just one day until Election Day, pre-election voting has now surpassed 2/3 of all ballots cast during the 2016 presidential election. More than 92 million Americans have voted so far, as a majority of states are reporting record early voting turnout in the 2020 election. Numbers suggest a high level of enthusiasm for voting this year, despite the obstacles of a pandemic. A federal judge will hear an appeal today by Republicans who argued that Texas state law does not allow drive-through voting. They argued the almost 127,000 votes cast during the early voting period in this manner should be ruled illegal. The Biden-Harris campaign canceled a Friday event in Texas after a caravan of Trump supporters surrounded the bus on the interstate. A source familiar with the incident said the Trump supporters yelled profanities and obscenities at those on the bus. No injuries were reported. Please visit SibylWilkes.com to subscribe to my free daily newsletter. Be informed, be empowered.
Places where I want to be.
All right, y'all. Seriously, man, I appreciate y'all hanging in with me today. Tough one. I tried to get it all cleared up before I got in here this weekend, but it just didn't work. So I'm going to go take some meds, shut it down. But y'all be safe and be careful out there. Seriously, if you don't have to be out late tomorrow evening, and tomorrow's not the day you want to be out with folks cutting up the way that they were this weekend. You had certain groups, supporters of a certain person, locking up highways and traffic ways and all this other kind of stuff. Be careful, folks. I'm not worried about y'all. I'm worried about these other people and their behavior. So make sure you're somewhere where you're safe. Make sure people know your location. Make sure that you keep yourself as safe as possible. I love y'all. I want to see y'all again real soon. So as always, not this, definitely this. Please, love y'all. Vote, 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 and be safe. Okay? All right.